No woman, no sound. I should be having sound right now. Okay, so fine. Let's do it. Let's go. Let's get it. So a friend of mine is texting me. I'm assuming that his class is over, so he should be heading this way shortly. I also talked about this in my other clip that I recorded, but I put the microphone into the port that was clearly labeled microphone, but clearly wrong because no sound came out of it. So I put it in the socket called AV/headphone. So this should work better. There's no other settings I can tweak on it, so I'm assuming this is the right setting. And so this is the anti-show episode 4, sort of, but I'm actually adjusting the camera and I'm not in a shitty misanthropic mood that I tend to be in most of the time. So that's the way it's gonna be, little D, baby. See what I got on my computer here. I got Flight of the Conchords, hilarious Kiwi comedy duo. So I'm writing this report. I'm comparing Google Keep. You'd think I know the name of the app by now. And iOS Notes, like Apple's stock Notes app. And it's doing pretty well. I'm doing this thing where I look at ease of use, I look at customizability, and I look at UI design. And let's look at the logo, and seeing that Apple used to have this skeuomorphic logo kind of design, I figure it would be a good idea to kind of look at their iOS 7 designs, because those were more flattened, to the great chagrin of many a user like myself. And so, I'm looking at stuff like that, and it's due in about an hour and a half, and I haven't even started it. I started it last night. I kind of just put this kind of mock-up report together. I use it based off of the Africa Wildlife template, and I've only replaced one of the 3 stock photos so far. But I'm calling it WhatsApp with that, which is a very shitty wordplay, but I figure if WhatsApp can get away with it, so can I, right? I don't know what I'm going to say about that. Does this hurt your ears? Good. Oh, it's hurting my hand. I'm sorry. RIP headphone users, probably put a warning up ahead of that. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be walking you through it. I'm going to kind of talk through it and then record this and then kind of write it down. So ease of use, amount of tabs upon first opening, how much do you have to do until you can do the thing you use the app for. Speaking from experience in iOS Notes, when you launch the app, you usually, if you're not a first-time user, greeted to the app, to the note that you were last working on. And at the bottom, there's like a new app, there's like a checklist button, and there's all this stuff. Let me actually cook it up here so I can show you. I'll do it on iOS, right? Because I'm an Apple snob. Let me look at this shit. Excuse my coughing into the mic. Okay, I've launched Notes here. And I'm wrong. You actually get an overview of the notes with, nope. You get the last note that was open. In my case, that was the one about this. And at the bottom, in the bottom left, you have a trash can. In the middle, you have a share button, which goes to social media and copy, print, save to files, stuff like that. And in the bottom right, you get a new Notes button. And then on the top left, you get this Notes app, which you can also click on, but you can also swipe it off. And you can just start typing. And you can select text to make it bold, italic. You can look at the meaning up, you can define it, stuff like that. And then when you swipe back, you get an overview of all your notes. You can scroll through that. There's not much of an interface here. There's only a text at the bottom that says the amount of notes you have in the section you're looking at, and also a new Notes button in the bottom right, and an edit button in the top right as well. And if you scroll all the way up, you get a search bar. You can search any word in the note, it'll go. And then when you swipe back again, you get an overview of the folders, which are your iCloud folders, are your different internet accounts, and you get the name of the different folders, and you get how many notes are in there, and they're kind of separated. I'll show you this in the screenshot. And at the bottom of the folders screen, you get a new folder option, so you can create a new folder within any internet account that you may have linked up to your iOS device. And in the bottom, and in the top right, you get an edit button, and if you click on that, you can sort, and you can select, and you can delete. Oh man, you can't sort them. It's sorted alphabetically, it looks like. And you also get a recently deleted one, which deletes your notes after 30 days. And deleting the notes, according to Apple, may take 40 days. Let me take a screenshot of that. Gosh darn it. Save that to photos. So, when you're actually working on a note, what you can do is you can share the notes. You can click on this Add People button, and you can get Add People, and you get a little overview of the note with the name of the note, the first line usually, the author, and the email account associated to that author. And it says add people to this note, and everyone will see the latest changes. And you get a little swipe menu of the apps, which are Messages, Mail, Twitter, WhatsApp, in my case anyway, Snapchat, Messenger. You can even copy the link or click on more, which just gives you the option to message or mail it to somebody. Next to that, you get a share button, which I've talked about before. And you can also add lines and grids. You can lock notes. You can airdrop to people. You can search within the note, and you can put it in lines and grids. You can make it a PDF. You can print it. You can copy. You can save it to files. If you click on more, you can. That's what are the options. More just gives you a list view of all the functions you've got. And at the bottom of the notes, when you're typing, you get a little table, which is similar to the one out on the share button, where you can just basically look at lines and grids. You can change the type of text that it is, whether or sentence. Usually when you select a sentence, you change this option. You can do a title, you can make it a heading, you can make it body, you can make it monospaced, which puts one space between each letter. Below that you have bold, italics, underscore, and strike through. Below that you have indentations and lists, like little bullet lists or 1, 2, 3, or bullet lists or indents, so you can, basically it works like if you were to use tab on a computer, on a desktop computer, Apple. So you can basically do that, and when you're typing, you can also make little checklists, which works similar to reminders. You can just check it off, and you can also, when you click plus, you can scan documents, you can take photo or video, insert it right into the notes. You can do a photo library, and you can also add a sketch view, but obviously this is only on iOS devices. And this is probably the most used feature for notes if you're even using notes on an iPad Pro. Then you get you can actually draw on the note, which the Notes app basically creates this a little piece of paper essentially for it. This little space where you can draw. It doesn't go over the text. It's separate from the text, which is different from apps like Evernote, where you can just draw right on the text. And you get a little pen option, a pencil option, and a marker option, and also you can lasso your parts of your drawing, select them basically, and erase. And you can also choose colors based on a color wheel, which gives you a 12 by 12, so that's 144 colors if I'm not mistaken, off the top of the thing. So, and you can, when you're selecting text, you can cut, you can copy, you can paste, you can once again change the font types, you can look stuff up, you can have your iPhone speak it to you, which obviously depends on the language of Siri you set it to. You can share it, which basically works the same as the share function. You can even change the orientation of the text, as well as where I mentioned it earlier. You can see that. You can even indent it, you can have it spell it out for you as well. That's the basic interface for Notes on iOS.